So there's some new developments with the alleged insider trading scheme with some of the Republicans in the United States Senate. This one involves a man by the name of Jeffrey SPRECHER. And if you're not familiar with Mr. SPRECHER, you should know that he is the CEO of the Intercontinental Exchange, which also happens to be the group that owns the New York Stock Exchange. And it turns out that Mr. SPRECHER, shortly before the market crashed, dumped millions of dollars worth of stock. Managed to save himself a lot of money. That's really lucky timing for Mr. SPRECHER, right? It's almost as if he knew somebody who had inside knowledge that told him to dump his stock. And I wonder who that could be. Well, in case you're not familiar with it, Mr. SPRECHER here happens to be the husband of Republican Georgia Senator Kelly Loeffler, one of the people who last week was accused of insider trading by the media after it was revealed that she dumped a ton of stock after a confidential coronavirus meeting back in January. And her husband somehow knew to do the exact same thing. Wow, what a lucky coincidence for the SPRECHER-Loeffler family, right? That's not a coincidence. What Loeffler is doing here is criminal. It's criminal. There's no other way to say this. This is clearly insider trading at this point. That's the bottom line here. Loeffler and SPRECHER, the president, CEO of the New York Stock Exchange, before all this is over, possibly even before the end of the year, these two, I promise you, are going to be brought up on criminal charges.
Take a close look at this disgusting mess all over Lower Manhattan, which exists for only one reason: to secure Jeffrey SPRECHER's New York Stock Exchange. And this mess will always exist if we do not do something about it. Here are the facts. The New York Stock Exchange has been a fully electronic exchange for many years. It is no different than NASDAQ and almost every other stock exchange around the world. All trades are done electronically using computers. If NYSE still did its millions of trades every day using floor traders filling the room on Broad Street every day, NYSE would be out of business, unable to compete. The only reason the floor of the New York Stock Exchange on Broad Street is still open is as a useful marketing gimmick for Jeffrey SPRECHER and his huge global company based in Atlanta, Intercontinental Exchange Corporation, where SPRECHER spends his time. SPRECHER gets to invite special individuals and various companies to come to the floor of the New York Stock Exchange building and make believe they are ringing the opening and closing bell, which they are, of course, not really doing. They get to walk around on the floor and take pictures and make believe it is the good old days when the floor of NYSE was a real exchange. SPRECHER also gets to use this historic building for special events and parties that promote himself and his big company, Intercontinental Exchange Corporation. What do all of us get out of this here in Lower Manhattan? We get to live with this quality of life destroying metal barriers and fences all around NYSE. And not even anywhere else in New York City will you find this mess. And very restrictive access to this key area to protect Jeffrey SPRECHER's property so he can use it as a promotional gimmick. Of course, in doing so, we also promote the Republican Party, which Jeffrey SPRECHER funds generously with the money he makes from Intercontinental Exchange Corporation. SPRECHER was just rewarded by the Republican Party by having his wife appointed a Republican U.S. Senator for Georgia to complete the term of her recently retired predecessor. And now this surprise. The floor of NYSE is closed because of COVID-19. And it makes absolutely no difference because NYSE is an electronic, not a floor exchange. Time to close NYSE's floor permanently. Send Jeffrey SPRECHER back to Atlanta where he is and belongs all the time. And take down all the metal barriers and all the fences destroying the quality of our community, Lower Manhattan.
Another big developing story reports tonight that the governor will announce his choice for Georgia's U.S. Senate seat on Wednesday. Sources say businesswoman Kelly Loeffler is his pick for senior Senator Johnny Isakson's seat. While she may be unknown to voters, Loeffler has been a very active donor to Republicans.
Doug Richards joins us more with Kelly Loeffler's background.
Well, if giving lots of money to Republican causes makes you qualified to become Georgia's next U.S. Senator, then businesswoman Kelly Loeffler may be almost overqualified. Kelly Loeffler's political face is backstage in 144 donations listed on the Federal Election Commission's website. More than $600,000 just since the start of last year, almost all of them to Republican causes. After growing up on a family farm in Illinois, Loeffler's career in the financial industry appeared to take off after she got a job at a company called Intercontinental Exchange. Then she married its CEO, Jeff Sprecher. In 2013, Sprecher's company bought the company that owns the New York Stock Exchange. Wallmine.com now lists Sprecher's net worth at least $500 million.
Loeffler sells a lot of stuff that would later tank and also purchases a big chunk of stock in Citrix, which runs like telemeeting software, which just seems like amazing luck.
Level, which is why is the United States Senator worth $500 million, allowed to have money that is traded on the public, traded on matters of the public interest.
Exactly.
That's the real question. I don't care if it's in a blind trust. I don't care whatever it is. You can take whatever fake measures that you want to throw in our faces. Is that you've got $500 million and you made money while people are out there starving, not having jobs, not being able to pay their rent, not being able to pay their cars, student loans, etc.
What a lie to call yourself a public servant.
Right.
When you, on the one hand, are all happy talk, oh, this is going great, and we're prepared, and the president's doing amazing, nothing to see here. Yeah. And in your private life, you are behaving in a way that is totally contrary to what you're telling the public.
Which is, again, if you're singing a tune to somebody, and then you sing a different tune in an op-ed and publicly, and then you're shorting stock in wherever you are, that is just wrong.
It's wrong.
Everybody knows it. You can offer up any legal explanation you want. Your constituents who are starving and don't have any food or having trouble paying their bills, they know the truth. And that this isn't a despicable tabloid hit piece or whatever. I read very much into this thing before commenting this strongly on it. And I have no compunction saying that what it looks like is straight up corruption.